You know what's fascinating? Every single day, millions of people wake up feeling incomplete because society has programmed them to believe they need someone else to make them whole. They scroll through social media, watching countless posts about perfect relationships, engagement announcements, and romantic gestures. And with each scroll, with each tap, they're reinforcing a powerful belief that somehow they're not enough on their own. But let me tell you something revolutionary. That feeling of incompleteness, it's not real. It's a programmed response, a pattern that's been conditioned into your nervous system through years of exposure to movies, books, and cultural expectations. When you feel that ache, that longing for partnership, what you're actually experiencing is your body's addiction to an emotional state. Here's what the latest scientific research tells us. When you rush into relationships from a place of emotional lack, you're operating from your survival center. Your brain is literally in emergency mode, pumping out stress chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. You're not choosing from wisdom, you're choosing from fear. Fear of being alone, fear of missing out, fear of what others might think. But what if I told you that this very moment of being alone is actually the most powerful opportunity you've ever had? What if this time of solitude is actually your brain's chance to reset, rewire, and create new patterns that will serve your future? The neuroscience is clear. When you're alone, your brain has the space to form new neural pathways, to break free from old emotional patterns, and to literally reshape itself into a more evolved version. Think about it. When was the last time you actually sat with yourself, comfortable in your own presence, without reaching for your phone, without needing external validation, without trying to fill the silence? That's where the real transformation begins. It's where you start to understand that the greatest relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. I work with thousands of people in my workshops, and I've seen this pattern play out countless times. The ones who learn to thrive in their solitude, who use this time to grow and evolve, they're the ones who end up attracting relationships that transform their lives. Not because they needed someone, but because they chose someone from a place of wholeness. Let's talk about what's really happening in your brain when you're stuck in these patterns of seeking relationships. Your brain doesn't know the difference between an emotion you're experiencing and an emotion you're remembering. When you think about past relationships, when you remember the hurt, the abandonment, the rejection, your body is creating the exact same chemical signature as if it's happening right now. Your brain is releasing the same cocktail of neurochemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, that you experienced during those past relationships. And here's the kicker. You've become addicted to these chemicals. That's right. You're literally addicted to the emotional states of your past. When you feel lonely, when you feel that urge to text your ex, when you find yourself drawn to the same type of person who hurt you before, that's not love. That's your body craving its familiar chemical fix. Every time you've been in a relationship that didn't serve you, every time you've stayed too long with someone who wasn't right for you, you were reinforcing these neural pathways. You were teaching your body to expect and crave these emotional states. Your brain has literally been wired to seek out situations that create these familiar feelings, even if they don't serve your highest good. Think about this. Every morning when you wake up, your brain is flooded with the same thoughts, same feelings, same emotions about relationships. And if you keep thinking the same thoughts, you'll keep creating the same brain chemistry, which creates the same emotions, which drives the same behaviors, which creates the same experiences. It's a cycle that keeps repeating itself. But what if you could interrupt this cycle? What if instead of waking up and immediately thinking about who you could text or scrolling through dating apps or fantasizing about your future partner, what if you could wake up and create a new chemical signature in your brain, one that's based on self-love, personal growth, and emotional freedom? The science shows us that it takes about 60 to 90 days to break an emotional addiction. That means for 2 to 3 months, you need to be willing to feel uncomfortable. Your body will crave the old emotions. They will try to convince you to go back to familiar patterns. But if you can stay strong, if you can maintain your commitment to breaking these patterns, something miraculous happens. Your brain literally begins to prune away the old neural connections and build new ones. You're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your brain's actual physical structure. You're creating new neural networks that support your growth, your independence, and your emotional freedom. This is real physical change happening at the level of your neurons and synapses. When you truly understand the power of self-connection, everything changes. I want you to really hear this. Every moment you spend alone is an opportunity to rewrite your brain's operating system. You're not just passing time until someone comes along. You're actively creating the neural architecture that will determine your future relationships. Here's what most people never understand. While they're busy distracting themselves from being alone, they're missing the greatest opportunity for transformation. Because in this space of solitude, something extraordinary happens. Your brain, free from the constant emotional triggers of relationships, begins to establish new baseline patterns. Think about this. Right now, in this moment, your brain is firing and wiring based on your thoughts and feelings. If you're constantly thinking thoughts of lack, of needing someone, of not being enough, those neurons are firing together and wiring together, strengthening those very patterns. But here's the beautiful thing about being single. You have the power to direct this process consciously. Instead of waking up and immediately checking your phone for messages, what if you spent those first 20 minutes in meditation? Your brain would begin to wire new patterns of peace, of self-sufficiency, of interconnection. Instead of spending your evenings swiping through dating apps, what if you invested that time in learning something new and pursuing your passions? Your neurons would start firing in patterns of growth, of self-discovery, of personal achievement. This is where emotional independence really begins to take root. You see, most people think emotional independence means not needing anyone, but that's not it at all. True emotional independence means having such a strong connection with yourself that you become a generator of positive emotions, rather than a consumer of other people's energy. Let me share something powerful from my research. When you consistently practice self-connection, your brain actually begins to produce higher levels of serotonin and dopamine naturally. You're no longer dependent on external relationships for your feel-good chemicals. Your brain learns to create these states internally through meditation, through gratitude, through personal achievement. And here's where it gets really interesting. As you build this emotional independence, your energy field changes. You literally begin to broadcast a different electromagnetic signature. People can feel this shift. They can sense when someone is operating from a place of wholeness rather than need. This is why people who have done this inner work often report that they start attracting a completely different quality of potential partners. But it requires commitment. You have to be willing to sit with yourself, to face the uncomfortable emotions that arise when you're alone. You have to be willing to feel the withdrawal symptoms as your body detoxes from its addiction to relationship-based emotional states. Every time you feel that urge to reach out to an ex, or to download another dating app, or to fill your silence with noise, That's your opportunity to strengthen your new neural pathways. Start small. Begin each day with 5 minutes of focused breathing. When you feel lonely, instead of reaching for your phone, reach for your journal. When you want to distract yourself with social media, take a walk in nature instead. And each of these choices is a vote for your new operating system, your new way of being. Remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So when you practice feeling whole, complete, and fulfilled on your own, your brain begins to accept this as your new reality. It starts producing the neurochemicals that support this state of being. You're not just thinking different thoughts, you're literally becoming a different person at a biological level. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts, your emotions, your very state of being, they all create an electromagnetic field that extends beyond your physical body. This isn't just spiritual talk. This is measurable, quantifiable science. When you're vibrating in low energy emotional states like neediness, desperation, or fear of being alone, you're literally broadcasting that frequency into the quantum field. Yeah, let me explain something fascinating about your energy field. Every time you think about past relationships with longing, every time you operate from a place of lack, your body produces stress chemicals that lower your energetic frequency. Your cells begin to vibrate at the frequency of survival emotions, fear, anxiety, loneliness. And here's the key: you attract experiences that match your frequency. But when you're in a relationship that isn't serving you, your energy field becomes entangled with that person's field. You're sharing not just physical space, but energetic space. This is why after a breakup, you might feel like you've lost part of yourself. In a very real way, your energy field is reorganizing itself, detaching from the frequencies you become accustomed to. But solitude, real, conscious solitude, offers you an extraordinary opportunity. When you're alone, your energy field has the chance to reset to its natural frequency. Think about it like this. Imagine your energy field as a pond. When you're constantly in relationships or seeking relationships, it's like having multiple stones thrown into that pond, creating overlapping ripples of emotions, like a tearing of seams. But in solitude, the water has a chance to become still, to return to its natural state. Now you can, when you separate, this is where the magic happens. In this stillness, you can begin to consciously raise your frequency through meditation, through a conscious breathing, through practicing gratitude. You're literally changing the electromagnetic signature of your body. The research in my lab has shown that when people enter into coherent emotional states of joy, gratitude, and self-love, their heart's electromagnetic field becomes more organized, more powerful. And the beautiful part, as you raise your frequency in solitude, you naturally begin to attract experiences and people that match this higher vibration. It's not about trying to find someone. It's about becoming someone who naturally attracts the right people through energetic resonance. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can either tune your energy to the frequency of lack, scrolling through social media and feeling what you're missing, or you can tune it to the frequency of wholeness. When you choose wholeness, when you choose to spend time in meditation, in nature, in creative pursuits, you're literally reorganizing the energy field of your body. And remember this, your energy field doesn't lie. You might be able to say all the right things to pretend you're okay being alone, but your energy field broadcasts your true emotional state. This is why it's so crucial to do this inner work authentically, to truly become comfortable and joyful in your solitude. Because when you do, your energy field becomes a beacon that naturally draws in aligned experiences and relationships. The quantum field is an invisible realm of infinite possibilities, responding not to what you want, but to who you're being. Most people try to create their ideal relationship from a place of wanting, of needing, of lacking. But here's the profound truth. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you've become. When you approach relationships from survival emotions, from that constant state of searching, needing, wanting, you're actually closing off the very possibilities you're trying to create. It's like trying to tune into a radio station while generating so much static that you can't hear the signal. Your anxiety, your neediness, your fear of being alone, these emotions are the static that prevents you from tuning into the frequency of possibilities. Here's what the latest research in quantum physics shows us. Observation affects reality. Your consciousness, your focused attention, literally influences the way energy collapses into matter, into experience. But most people are observing their reality from their past experience. They're looking for love while carrying the weight of every past disappointment, every heartbreak, every rejection. But what if you could observe your current reality from a future potential? What if, instead of looking for someone to complete you, you began to observe yourself as already complete? This isn't positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is actively engaging with the quantum field from a new state of being. When you're truly whole, when you've done the work to move beyond survival emotions, something extraordinary happens. You begin to create from a place of abundance rather than lack. Your very presence becomes an invitation for possibilities rather than a desperate plea for completion. The quantum field responds not to your wishes or your prayers, but to your energetic signature. Think about this. Every time you meditate, every time you enter into a state of genuine gratitude for your solitude, every time you feel joy in your own company, you're sending a signal into the quantum field. You're no longer broadcasting the frequency of I need someone to be happy. Instead, you're broadcasting I am whole, I am complete. And from this place of wholeness, I'm open to expanding into even greater possibilities. But when you manifest from abundance, when you truly know and feel your completeness, you open yourself to possibilities beyond your current imagination. You're no longer trying to recreate a better version of your past relationships. You're not trying to fix what was broken. Instead, you're creating space for something entirely new to emerge. The quantum field contains every possibility, infinite potential relationships, connections, and experiences. But you can only access the possibilities that match your current state of being. And this is why becoming whole within yourself isn't just personal development. It's actually the most powerful form of creation. Now, let's get practical about this transformation. Your mind and body need to be prepared, conditioned, and strengthened for this journey of conscious solitude. Most people want change, but they're not willing to do the daily work required to overcome their emotional addictions. But you're here because you're ready for something different. The first hour of your day is crucial. This is when your brain is most receptive to new programming. Instead of reaching for your phone, instead of immediately plugging into the external world, take this time for yourself. Start with 20 minutes of meditation, not the kind where you're just sitting there thinking about your problems. Real meditation, where you're consciously directing your energy. Here's a powerful practice. Each morning, sit up straight, close your eyes, and place your attention in the space around your heart. Breathe slowly, deeply. As you inhale, feel the energy expanding in your chest. As you exhale, radiate that energy outward. This isn't just a visualization. You're literally changing your nervous system to operate from a place of coherence rather than chaos. Throughout your day, catch yourself in moments of seeking external validation. Maybe you post something on social media and keep checking for likes. Maybe you dress a certain way, hoping to catch someone's attention. Maybe you make decisions based on what others might think. Each of these moments is an opportunity to break the habit of external validation. Create new routines that reinforce your independence. Take yourself out to dinner, not while scrolling on your phone, but while fully present with yourself. Go to movies alone, travel alone. These aren't just activities, they're exercises in strengthening your emotional independence. Every time you choose to enjoy your own company, you're rewiring neural pathways that once required external stimulation for happiness. Your body keeps the score of every emotional state you regularly inhabit. If you've been living in a state of seeking, of wanting, of needing someone else to complete you, your body has memorized these emotions. It's created an internal chemistry that supports these states. To change this, you need to create new chemical signatures in your body. Practice this exercise 3 times a day. Stop whatever you're doing. Close your eyes. Bring to mind 3 things you're grateful for about your current state of being single. Feel this gratitude in your body. Let it fill your chest, your stomach, your entire being. You're literally creating new neural networks associated with positive emotions about being alone. Break the pattern of seeking comfort in old relationships. Delete those photos. Remove those phone numbers. Clean up your social media. Every time you hold on to these connections, you're reinforcing old neural pathways. Your brain can't create new patterns while it's still running the old programs. Learn to recognize the difference between solitude and loneliness. Loneliness is a state of lacking, of missing something. Solitude is a state of fullness, of being complete in yourself. When you feel loneliness creeping in, don't run from it. Sit with it. Observe it. Ask yourself, what am I really seeking in this moment? Often you'll find it's not actually another person you're craving. It's a feeling, a state of being. Create an evening routine that reinforces your new way of being. Before bed, write in your journal. Document your victories, no matter how small. Did you catch yourself before texting an ex? Did you enjoy a moment of genuine peace while alone? Did you make a decision based on your own values rather than seeking approval? These are all signs of your brain creating new patterns. When you've done this inner work, when you've elevated your consciousness beyond the programmed patterns of your past, you develop a completely different awareness about relationships. You begin to recognize that finding the right person isn't about timing, it's about frequency matching. It's about energetic coherence. Here's what most people never understand. When you're operating from an evolved consciousness, you stop looking for someone to fill your gaps. Instead, you become attuned to recognizing resonance. This isn't about checking boxes on a list of qualities you want in a partner. It's about energetic alignment that you can feel in every cell of your body. The signs of genuine compatibility shift entirely. You're no longer drawn to people because they make you feel less alone or because they fit some mental image of what you think you want. Instead, you recognize compatibility through coherence, through an alignment of energy, of purpose, of vision. When you meet someone operating at this same frequency, there's no neediness, no desperate attempt to make it work. There's just a natural, easy flow of energy between two whole beings. This is where divine timing comes into play. But let me be clear, divine timing isn't about sitting around waiting for some magical moment. It's about understanding that when you're vibrating at your highest frequency, when you're truly living as your most evolved self, you naturally intersect with others doing the same work. It's quantum entanglement at the level of consciousness. You'll know you're ready when being with someone becomes a choice rather than a need. When you can look at another person and appreciate them without trying to possess them. When you can recognize that a relationship isn't about filling a void. It's about creating something greater than either person could create alone. Pay attention to this. When the right person appears in your life, it won't feel like the beginning of a story. It will feel like turning to a new chapter in a book that's already rich with content. You won't be trying to secure their attention or prove your worth. You'll be too busy living your purpose, and they'll be naturally drawn to the energy of that purpose. The right person will never ask you to shrink. They won't require you to dim your light or contain your growth. Instead, they'll show up as someone equally committed to their own evolution. They'll understand that relationships aren't about dependency. They're about two people coming together to create something larger than themselves. This is what operating from evolved consciousness looks like in relationship. It's the ability to stay true to your own frequency while harmonizing with another. It's understanding that love isn't about filling emptiness. It's about amplifying wholeness. When two people come together from this place of individual completeness, they create what I call a coherent field, a combined energy that elevates both partners. You are not here by accident. And this moment of solitude in your life isn't a waiting period. It's a launching pad. Everything we've discussed today isn't just theory. It's not just information. It's an invitation to step into a new way of being, to create a new reality from the quantum field of infinite possibilities. Remember this, every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can either fall back into the emotional patterns of your past, seeking completion in another person, or you can step into the unknown, into the field of possibilities where you are already whole, already complete, already everything you need to be. Take these practical steps starting tomorrow. Begin your day in silence, in meditation, creating new thought patterns that serve your highest good. When you feel the old emotions rising, the loneliness, the neediness, the fear, recognize them as opportunities to rewire your brain to create new neural pathways of self-sufficiency and inner peace. Trust in this process. Trust that as you raise your frequency, as you strengthen your electromagnetic field through conscious practice, you are literally becoming a different person. Your cells are reorganizing. Your brain is rewiring. Your energy field is expanding. You're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your very biology. The universe has a perfect plan, but that plan can only unfold when you stop trying to control it, when you stop trying to force relationships out of fear or habit or societal pressure. Your job isn't to find the right person. Your job is to become the right person, to elevate your consciousness to such a degree that you naturally attract experiences that match your new frequency. This is your time. This is your moment to break free from old patterns, to step into a new paradigm of relationships. Every moment you spend consciously alone is an investment in your future connections. Every time you choose self-love over neediness, every time you choose growth over comfort, you're creating ripples in the quantum field that will return to you as experiences that match your elevated state of being. You are the creator of your reality. You are the architect of your future. And this time of solitude, it's not your burden, it's your superpower. Use it wisely, use it consciously, use it to become someone who doesn't need a relationship to feel complete, but who is ready to create something extraordinary. When the right person appears, the future you dream of isn't coming. You are creating it right now in this moment with every choice you make. Make those choices consciously. Make them from a place of power. Make them from a place of wholeness. Your greatest relationship is waiting on the other side of your transformation. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should.
And this, my friends, is one of my favorite Joe Dispenza's talks because it speaks deeply to me. It connects with something deeper inside myself, and I know that he's right. He speaks the truth here, and I believe that you have also felt that in your life, and that it's something that you can work on it. You can listen and re-listen to this talk, because whenever I listen to this, it always speaks differently to me. It always says something, I understand something better, something deeper. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.